The Saga of Humanity. Imagine a time around 30,000 years ago when our ancestors, the Homo sapiens, roamed the earth as nomadic hunters and gatherers. They painted intricate scenes on the walls of caves, telling stories of their daily lives, fears, and dreams. These caves, such as Lascaux in France, serve as portals to our ancient past, revealing the profound creativity and imagination of our early human kin. As millennia pass, humans evolve, innovate, and adapt. Around 10,000 years ago, in what we call the Neolithic Revolution, our ancestors make a monumental leap forward by transitioning from nomadic lifestyles to settled farming communities. This revolutionary shift marks the birth of agriculture and civilization as we know it. Imagine the joy and relief as they discover the power to control their food sources, leading to the growth of villages, towns, and eventually great cities. Fast forward to around 3000 BC, and we find ourselves in the cradle of civilization. Ancient Mesopotamia, where the Sumerians, Babylonians, and Assyrians established the first complex societies. Picture bustling city-states like Uruk and Ur, where ziggurats pierce the sky and kings rule with divine authority. These ancient civilizations give birth to writing, mathematics, and law, laying the foundation for the modern world. Meanwhile, across the globe, the ancient Egyptians build their majestic pyramids as eternal tombs for their pharaohs, showcasing their mastery of engineering and architecture. Their civilization flourishes along the fertile banks of the Nile, leaving behind a legacy of monumental achievement that still awes us today. But history is not all grandeur and glory. Around 500 BC in ancient Greece, a new era of enlightenment dawns. Imagine the excitement and intellectual fervor as philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle ponder the mysteries of existence and the nature of reality. Their ideas ignite a spark that will eventually blaze into the flames of democracy and reason, shaping the course of human history. Yet, amidst the brilliance of Greece, the shadow of empire looms. In Rome, a republic rises from the ashes of conquest, expanding its dominion across the Mediterranean world. Imagine the triumph of Caesar as he crosses the Rubicon, forever altering the course of Rome and the world. The Roman Empire becomes a beacon of power and civilization, but it also faces internal strife and external threats, culminating in the dramatic fall of Rome in 476 AD. In the wake of the Roman Empire's decline, the world enters a tumultuous period known as Late Antiquity. Imagine the chaos and uncertainty as once mighty empires crumble and new powers rise from the ashes. In the East, the Byzantine Empire emerges as the heir to Rome's legacy, preserving its traditions while forging its own path. Meanwhile, in the West, the Germanic tribes sweep across Europe, reshaping the political landscape and laying the groundwork for the medieval kingdoms that will follow. Amidst this backdrop of upheaval, the teachings of a humble carpenter from Nazareth spread like wildfire across the Roman world. Jesus Christ, with his message of love, compassion, and redemption, captures the hearts and minds of countless followers, laying the foundation for Christianity. Imagine the fervor and devotion of early Christians as they gather in secret to worship, defying persecution and spreading their faith to the farthest corners of the known world. As Christianity takes root, it intertwines with the fabric of society, shaping art, culture, and politics in profound ways. In the year 313 AD, Emperor Constantine issues the Edict of Milan, granting religious tolerance to Christians and marking a pivotal moment in the history of the faith. Soon after, Christianity becomes the official religion of the Roman Empire, forever altering the course of Western civilization. But the story of this era is not just one of religious fervor and political upheaval. Imagine the awe and wonder of the ancient world as scholars in Alexandria unravel the mysteries of the cosmos, laying the groundwork for astronomy and mathematics. Their discoveries, from the geocentric model of the universe to the calculation of pi, ignite a thirst for knowledge that will shape the course of human progress for centuries to come. Meanwhile, in the East, the Silk Road becomes a bustling thoroughfare of trade and cultural exchange, connecting the great civilizations of Asia, Europe, and Africa. Imagine the sights and sounds of caravans laden with silks, spices, and precious gems as they traverse deserts and mountains, linking distant lands and fostering a rich tapestry of languages, religions, and ideas. As the centuries unfold, new empires rise and fall, from the majestic splendor of the Gupta Empire in India to the dazzling heights of the Tang Dynasty in China. Imagine the opulence and grandeur of imperial courts, where poets, scholars, and artisans flourish under the patronage of enlightened rulers. Yet, amidst the glories of empire, the world is not immune to strife and conflict. In the Arabian Peninsula, a new faith emerges as the Prophet Muhammad receives divine revelations that will give birth to Islam. Imagine the courage and conviction of early Muslims as they spread the message of monotheism, forging an empire that stretches from Spain to India and forever altering the course of history. As the medieval era unfolds, Europe is plunged into a tumultuous period of feudalism, crusades, and cultural revival. Imagine the chivalry and valor of knights as they embark on epic quests to defend Christendom and reclaim the Holy Land. These crusades, marked by both glory and tragedy, bring Europe into contact with the riches and knowledge of the East, sparking a period of cultural exchange and innovation known as the Renaissance. In the cities of Italy, a rebirth of learning and creativity takes place as scholars, artists, and thinkers rediscover the wisdom of the ancient world. Imagine the awe and wonder of Renaissance Florence, where luminaries like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Machiavelli gather to exchange ideas and push the boundaries of human achievement. Their works, from towering cathedrals to timeless masterpieces like the Mona Lisa, stand as testament to the power of human creativity and imagination. But the Renaissance is not confined to Europe alone. In the Islamic world, scholars preserve and expand upon the knowledge of antiquity, making groundbreaking contributions to fields such as medicine, mathematics, and astronomy. Imagine the bustling streets of Baghdad, where scholars like Al-Kindi, Al-Khwarizmi, and Ibn Sina gather in the House of Wisdom to translate and study ancient texts, paving the way for the scientific revolution that will follow. Meanwhile, in the vast expanses of Asia, powerful empires rise and fall. In China, the Ming Dynasty ushers in an era of stability and prosperity, marked by monumental achievements such as the construction of the Great Wall and the voyages of Admiral Zheng He. Imagine the grandeur and opulence of the Forbidden City, where emperors rule with absolute authority, surrounded by courtiers and concubines. Across the Indian subcontinent, the Mughal Empire emerges as a beacon of culture and refinement, blending Persian, Indian, and Central Asian influences into a rich tapestry of art, architecture, and literature. Imagine the splendor of the Taj Mahal, a testament to the enduring power of love and devotion as it rises from the banks of the Yamuna River, casting its ethereal glow upon the world. Yet, amidst the glories of empire, the world is not immune to conflict and conquest. In the Americas, civilizations such as the Aztecs, Maya, and Inca rise to power, building magnificent cities and monuments that rival those of the Old World. But their empires are destined to fall, as European explorers and conquistadors arrive on their shores, bringing with them disease, warfare, and devastation on a scale never before imagined. As the 15th century draws to a close, the world stands on the brink of a new age, poised on the cusp of discovery and exploration. Imagine the anticipation and excitement as explorers like Christopher Columbus, Vasco da Gama, and Ferdinand Magellan set sail across uncharted seas, seeking new lands, new riches, and new horizons. The dawn of the modern era brings with it an age of exploration, scientific discovery, and global exchange. Imagine the wonder and awe as European explorers traverse the globe, mapping distant lands, encountering new cultures, and establishing vast colonial empires. From the shores of the Americas to the jungles of Africa and the islands of the Pacific, the world is transformed by the forces of conquest and commerce. In Europe, the Renaissance gives way to the Enlightenment, a golden age of reason, skepticism, and humanism. Imagine the excitement and intellectual ferment as philosophers like Descartes, Voltaire, and Rousseau challenge the authority of tradition and superstition, championing the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Their ideas lay the groundwork for revolutions that will shake the foundations of the old order and shape the destiny of nations. In the Americas, the clash of civilizations leads to upheaval and tragedy on an unprecedented scale. Imagine the horror and devastation as European diseases decimate indigenous populations, wiping out entire civilizations and irrevocably altering the course of history. Yet, amidst the suffering, resilient cultures endure, preserving their traditions, languages, and identities against all odds. As the Industrial Revolution takes hold, the world is transformed by the power of steam, coal, and iron. Imagine the bustling factories of Manchester and Birmingham, where workers toil long hours in dangerous conditions, fueling the engines of progress and prosperity. Yet, amidst the wealth and innovation, a dark underbelly of exploitation and inequality emerges as the gap between rich and poor widens and social tensions simmer. But the 19th century is also a time of unprecedented change and advancement. Imagine the excitement and exhilaration as inventors like Thomas Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, and Nikola Tesla harness the power of electricity, revolutionizing communication, transportation, and industry. Their inventions, from the telephone to the light bulb, transform the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us. Meanwhile, the world is swept up in a wave of revolution and reform. In France, the cry of Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité rings out as the French Revolution topples the monarchy and establishes a republic based on the principles of democracy and human rights. Across the Atlantic, the United States of America emerges as a beacon of freedom and opportunity, as immigrants flock to its shores in search of a better life. But the 19th century is also marked by conflict and upheaval on a global scale. Imagine the horror and devastation of the Napoleonic Wars, as Europe is torn apart by years of bloody conflict and struggle for supremacy. Yet, amidst the chaos, new nations emerge, forged in the fires of revolution and war, as old empires crumble and new ones rise to take their place. As the century draws to a close, the world stands on the brink of a new age, poised on the threshold of the 20th century and all the promise and peril it holds. Imagine the anticipation and uncertainty as humanity looks to the future, striving to build a better world out of the ashes of the past. The 20th century bursts onto the stage of history with a whirlwind of innovation, dynamite, conflict, and progress. Imagine the exhilaration and wonder as pioneers of flight like the Wright brothers take to the skies, conquering the forces of gravity and shrinking the distances that separate us. In the realm of science, Albert Einstein unveils his theory of relativity, forever altering our understanding of space, time, and the universe. But the 20th century is also a time of unprecedented upheaval and violence. Imagine the horror and devastation of 2 world wars that engulfed the globe in flames, leaving millions dead and entire nations shattered. The echoes of these conflicts reverberate through the decades, leaving scars that will take generations to heal. Yet, amidst the darkness, moments of hope and triumph shine through. Imagine the joy and relief as the Berlin Wall crumbles in 1989, signaling the end of decades of division and oppression in Europe. In 1969, humanity reaches for the stars as Neil Armstrong takes his first steps on the moon, fulfilling a dream as old as civilization itself. As we journey into the 21st century, the world is more connected and interdependent than ever before. Enter the power and potential of the internet as information flows freely across borders and continents, connecting people in ways unimaginable to previous generations. Yet, with this newfound connectivity comes new challenges, from the threat of cyber warfare to the spread of misinformation and extremism. In the realm of science and technology, breakthroughs abound, from the mapping of the human genome to the development of artificial intelligence and renewable energy. Opening new possibilities as we stand on the brink of a new era of discovery and innovation, where the boundaries of what is possible are limited only by our imagination and ingenuity. But as we look to the future, we must also confront the challenges that lie ahead. From climate change and environmental degradation to the rise of authoritarianism and inequality. Imagine the urgency and determination as people around the world come together to address these pressing issues, working towards a more sustainable, equitable, and peaceful world for future generations. And there you have it, the entire history of the human race in less than 20 minutes. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Chrono Tales for more similar content.